Hello ladies and gentlemen, we're back for another video. Today I just wanted to address the topic of different types of kind of strength in Coober Pedy Opal. So there's a little bit of variety, and you'll hear people say every now and then it sounds like good opal rough, which is a little strange. You'd think it's more of a visual thing, like you can see the colour bars and all of that kind of stuff, so it looks like good rough. But when they're saying it sounds like good rough, it's about the strength of it. So Coober Pedy does have some stuff that can fall apart and flake. So none of this is that lower quality stuff, but even with this, which is still pretty reasonable grade stuff, and this, which is the ultra hard stuff, there is a noticeable difference. So in this video, I'll just tap them together kind of thing. I'll reposition the microphone before I do it, but we'll just listen to the difference between this stuff and this stuff. Because you've heard me say that Mintaby is some of the hardest opal out there, and it's just tough as nails, and it sounds kind of glassy and porcelain when it taps together rather than plasticky. So that also happens with Coober Pedy. It's just that Mintaby, really, it's all hard stuff. So we'll reposition the microphone and we'll give them a tap and you'll see what I mean. So there you go, you could have a good listen there, go back and replay it if you want, and you could hear that these two, it kind of sounds a lot like just, you know, two opals hitting together. It's pretty normal, that rocky kind of sound. But these, you could hear that it's, every time it did that, it sounded almost like glass, or maybe like a ceramic, kind of like a ceramic tile, two ceramic tiles hitting up against each other. And this stuff is just miles harder than this stuff. Fairly similar, it's both Coober Pedy, it's both near each other in terms of fields, but it's just not the same kind of makeup. So without any scientific testing or anything, which I might be able to do later on, I want to measure the hardness of a lot of these types of material as opposed to these ones. And also, if I can, I want to try to measure the water content within them, because my theory is that these will have a much lower water content. And once these are cut, they can be a little bit brittle while you're cutting because they're so hard. But once they are cut, these things are very sturdy, like very sturdy. Much less chance of getting scratches or anything like that. Whereas these, they will need a repolish. If they're set in like a ring or something, over time the face will scuff and they will need a repolish. Which isn't the end of the world, it's not that bad. People say opal jewelry is terrible because it isn't as impervious to damage as other stones, your typical gemstones like diamonds. But really, if it fogs up a little bit on the outside from small scratches, you can just polish them back out again, so it's not too bad. As long as you don't snap one or crack one in half, then you're pretty good. And if it cracks in half, you can just replace the stone and whatever, you're good to go. So yeah, you can see that this isn't low quality Coober Pedy stuff, but you can already tell that it's almost more of a plasticky kind of sound as opposed to the absolute glass of the other one. And lower quality Coober Pedy you can get, it does really sound like you're tapping something up against plastic. So yeah, just something to know and keep an eye on, keep an ear out for. This is very close to Mintaby levels of toughness, which is really hard material. So yeah, hopefully that helps you guys out and helps you understand what it means when people are saying that rough opal sounds really good. If there's a video and you can hear it rattling together and it's sounding all glassy like, that's what they're talking about. I'll see you in the next video where I'll be carving probably this. So this is also from Julian's latest batch. It's a small pipe, and look at the colour in the end of it. Look at that. There are a few concerns around sand spots here and there, And I don't want to change the shape too much. You can see that there's a hollow end over here, and the colour does make it through, but there's a little bit of a discoloration there, a little bit of mud and dirt, so that needs a bit of a brush up. The outside needs a huge brush up, but we're hoping that that is perfectly fine and we don't have any deep sand. There's a little bit of a gouge in here, which probably will remain there in the final one, but this one we're not going to change the shape too much. I just want to see what's under the skin, and we'll leave it at that, so hopefully it works out well. And then after that, I'll probably go back to looking at these last 3 bits that I was just kind of messing with for the kid that found them while he was noodling. So little bit of crystal, a really unusual shape, but a lot of colour in that one. And then this one's going to be probably the toughest cut. Tiny, hairline thick colour bars that I thought I'd give a good crack. You can see it there, it's a bit out of focus, there it is. Tiny little colour bar which we're going to go for because it's red, and you see red and you go to hunt it. Who knows, you could end up with another gem like this one here that we cut first. Absolute incredible piece. Look at it. I still look at it. Beautiful. Anyway, that's the plans for the channel for the next coming weeks. I'm about to go through a heat wave, so we're looking at some really high temperatures in Roy's Rock Shed. The Roy's Rock Shed department is going to be right up there. About, I'm projecting it'll probably get pretty close to 50 degrees today and tomorrow. And that is, I can't even think off the top of my head what that is in American. It's well over 100, 120. So yeah, it's going to get warm. So I better get to this and carve while it's still, I don't know, 40 degrees. So let's go for it.